There was a period dating as far back as 1984's Kung Fu Master, where beat-em-up video games were born, but then in 1987, after the release of Double Dragons, beat-em-up video games were all the rage. Arcades were saturated with all sorts of fun copies like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, X-Men, Golden Axe, and Battletoads. Oh, I forgot. People would lose their shit if I didn't mention The Simpsons. But yeah, these games were the cool things to do when you were a kid. But it wasn't just co-op beat-em-ups. You could also have one-on-ones and beat the shit out of each other with classics such as Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat, just to name a few. With these games riding a giant wave of popularity, we knew it was inevitable to see them transition into the next generation consoles, because by 1996, the N64 and PlayStation have arrived. And so, a developing company known as Core Design was tasked with creating the new Streets of Rage for Sega, which would be the fourth installment of the series, and it would be exclusive for the Sega Saturn. However, Core Design wasn't playing that shit and wanted to make it available for the PlayStation and N64 as well as for the Sega Saturn. Sega then told them to kiss their asses and pulled the name of Streets of Rage from the project. That's when Core Design repackaged the game and called it Fighting Force. This would be the very first ever 3D beat-em-up game released for the new game consoles. So in the game, you have 4 characters to choose from. Hawk Manson and Mace Daniels are your 2 well-rounded characters. The difference between them are that Hawk is a little stronger than Mace, but Mace is a little faster than Hawk. Then you got Ben Smasher Jackson, who is a large and slow tank of a man capable of lifting and throwing the engines of cars at enemies. Alana McKendricks is a fast but soft-hitting teenager with one crazy-ass jump kick. All of these characters have their very own special attacks as well. So the gameplay is pretty easy to pick up, even for a casual gamer, and it's a lot of fun seeing them whoop countless enemies' asses by kung-fuing their faces or by using guns, knives, cars, or even soda cans. The story is about taking on Dr. Dex Zhang, a criminal mastermind with an army at his command who predicted that the world would end in the year 2000 because he's the one that is going to destroy it. Unfortunately, the game was trashed by critics like GameSpot and IGN, to name a few. But if I had to be honest, this game is pretty f***ing fun to play. However, it's definitely missing something. And that thing, for me at least, is a better soundtrack. When you mention any of the games that were successful, you automatically remember the music you hear in the background while you're kicking ass and taking names. But for Fighting Force, I completely forgot if it even had a soundtrack. So this game never really had an identity for people to remember, and not enough personality to immortalize it. That's probably the biggest reason why it was forgotten by most. Also the assholes at GameSpot for trashing this game. But having said that, Fighting Force should be remembered. It was the first 3D beat-em-up game ever, and did a damn good job introducing this genre of games to the new generation of consoles. That is why Fighting Force gets 19 stars.